Good morning. There's joy in my kitchen this morning. If you listen really carefully, you can hear all of the excitement and the joyful sounds of the kids playing outside. The cousin came over last night, and boy, did we have a lot of excitement. So today, I got up and the girls wanted waffles. So I made them waffles for breakfast. And I thought, I've never tried the Trim Healthy Mama waffles. So that's what I'm going to try today in my kitchen. So these are the ingredients that are required, and that is a lot. It is a whole lot of ingredients, in my opinion. But my plan is to make the big batch and then to freeze some of it. So you only have to get out all this stuff just one time. So that being said, we will review what all of the ingredients are. So we're going to use coconut cooking spray, and we are going to use our 3 large eggs, and we have 8-ounce package of the third fat cream cheese. So I've used 1.5 of those packages. I think that's what the recipe calls for. It's not really clear. It says 1.5 packages, 8-ounce, third less fat cream cheese. So I'm assuming that it means 1.5 of the 8-ounce packages, but they're from Australia, so maybe it's just 8 ounces. We'll see how this turns out. Anyhow, then we need our egg whites, and I'm just using my liquid egg whites from Aldi's, and our baking powder, which is really important. Even though I call it baking soda, it is baking powder, and it is very important because we want our waffles nice and fluffy. And then we have coconut oil, and I'm going to use this kind instead of the virgin coconut oil, because the virgin coconut oil will leave the coconutty flavor, and I'm interested in using these waffles to make a sandwich one day soon. I don't know when, but I don't want it to taste like coconut, so I'm going to use this instead. And then, of course, we have our sweetener, which is just the stuff that I made with the ingredients that I collected. It's the xylitol and the stevia extract. So also we're going to need vanilla extract, and we're going to need pristine whey powder that I got from the Trim Healthy Mama store, and our good friend Gluckie. I don't know how to really say the word, so I just call it Gluckie. And then we have the Trim Healthy Mama baking blend, but I didn't have that. So I was able to find some keto-friendly flour at the Aldi's, and it has the same ingredients in it, where it has the almond flour and the coconut flour and the oat flour or fiber or something like that. Whatever, it was comparable, so I got it, and it's going to work for us. So, and then our almond milk, our unsweet almond milk, very important. So I have all the ingredients together, and I have my handy dandy measuring cup, and I have my very favorite 1/2 tablespoon, because the ingredients call for that, and my regular tablespoons and teaspoons. And I think I am just about ready to start putting the ingredients together. However, looking in the camera, I just realized that I haven't tied back my hair yet, and that's a thing. So I'm going to go tie back my hair and then measure out the ingredients, and we'll assemble this together. The blender waffles. Back. And I feel way better about having my hair tied up, because there is nothing worse than biting into some kind of foodstuffs and pulling the long hair out of your mouth. Well, maybe there might be some things that are worse, but it's a pretty close second. So, yeah, I got my hair up, And I have all of my ingredients measured out, and we'll talk about that as we assemble our freezer waffles. They are called blender freezer waffles, and so I'm going to make them right here in my handy dandy blender. And we're just going to put the ingredients in one at a time and start the assembly. So first we're going to start with the base, which is the 1.5 packages of the third less fat cream cheese. And so I did the 1.5, 8 ounces, whatever it's supposed to be. That's what we're trying. So that goes into the blender. And then next we're going to do 3 large eggs. So bloop, bloop, blop. 3 large eggs are in. And now 1/3 cup of carton egg whites. You can make your own egg whites. I mean, you can't make your own egg whites, but you can crack the egg and get your own egg whites. But this is so much easier for me, so I'm just doing that. And we will put that in because that will give our waffles some fluffiness as well. Then the next ingredient is the tablespoon of aluminum-free baking powder. So I have that right here, and I'm going to put that in because we just need 1 tablespoon of it. Yep, got it all. Our next ingredient is going to be 3 generous tablespoons of coconut oil, and I was pretty generous with my coconut oil. I don't know if you can see that or not because my screen went blank, but yes, I didn't measure flats. I just kind of scooped, and so we're going to add this to our mixture. Make sure we get all of that good stuff in there. And we are moving on to our 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of unflavored pristine whey protein powder. So that's what we have here. Well, not really. So I got to tell you, I didn't have any of the unflavored. All I had was the vanilla, and I thought, I don't have to make sandwiches this time. I can just, make sweet stuff instead of savory. So I am going to use the vanilla flavored pristine whey powder. We're going to put that in, but when we add our next ingredient, the 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, I didn't have 2 teaspoons. I only had 1.5 teaspoons. But I'm not worried because I used the vanilla flavored whey powder. So there we have it. So we've added that in as well. And next we are going to add 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of the baking blend. So whether you make your own or you use a comparable or you use the Trim Healthy Mama one, we're using 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons, either way. So that goes in. And our 1.5 tablespoons of the super sweet blend I have right here, and I'm going to add that to my blender. So next we are going to do the unsweetened almond milk. I have that right here, and that is 3/4 cup. No, it isn't. It is 2/3 cup. Yes, so 2/3 cup. We're going to add that into my blender. And I thought that 1.5 teaspoons of Glucki was a lot, but I double checked, and that's how much you're supposed to put in there. So I'm going to try to gently put this into the into a part on my blender where the powder is already, because if I pour it in where the liquid is, I'm afraid that it might clump a little bit, and I don't want clumpy waffles. So here I go. I'm going to put that in there very carefully right on the side. Okay, so that is it. I'm going to put the lid on my blender. Then I am going to plug in my waffle iron so that it has, oh, did you hear that? I just knocked stuff over. But so that it has opportunity to heat up preheat, as it were, while I'm blending and resting my waffle mix. And I'm going to take it over there, put it in the blender, and I'll be right back. I have successfully blended my batter. I put it on the base and turned it on. It's so loud. I just don't want to do that on film. But I blended it for about 30 seconds, and then I let it rest for 10 seconds and scraped down to make sure everything got in there. I didn't have to scrape too much because I dumped it in the center. But then I blended it for a full minute. So that's what it tells me to do, and you know how I follow directions. Maybe. Anyway, so now I'm going to let it rest for about 10 minutes while my waffle iron is heating, and I tidy up my kitchen, and I play a game with the girls. So I will be back to show you how lovely this batter turns out as we pour it into the waffle iron, and see you in a bit. If you have stayed through my adventure this long, then now you're going to see how the batter turned out. And we are going to put this in my preheated Belgian waffle maker. So the cookbook recommends that you put a generous heaping quarter cup in your waffle iron, but this is a Belgian waffle. So see how much deeper it is? I don't know if you can see that. It's much deeper and it's a little bit bigger. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a half a cup. So this batter has turned out to be very thick and very fluffy. It's got air bubbles in it, and it looks like it's going to be pretty good, and it smells really good. But I don't know if you can see the air bubbles that are in it. So it's fluffy and a little bit like foamy, but not too foamy, not like hand soap foam. It's more of like I've over whipped it, but I did what it told me to do. So we'll see how this turns out. So we're going to do half a cup in there, but prior I am going to spray my waffle iron with some coconut oil just so that it doesn't stick, because it looks like it's going to be pretty sticky. And let's see if we can get you involved in this process. So it's pretty thick. It's not like a pouring kind of batter. So I think I'm going to have to spread it around. And I'm just going to use the back of my plastic measuring cup and hope that it does not touch the burner and melt, because that would be sad. But, oh, and that would kind of smell bad too, and probably make my waffles taste horrible. But I think that is spread out good enough for me. And now I'm going to put the lid down, and we're going to wait it out. See how long it takes to have these waffles get nice and golden and crusty, and hopefully they will be delicious. My kitchen smells absolutely lovely. The batter made some beautiful waffles. These are the blender freezer waffles. And so I decided that I wasn't going to make them quite as brown as I generally like my waffles, because I'm going to put these in the freezer and hopefully be able to pop them right into the toaster oven, and they might brown a little bit more. But look at how lovely these waffles turned out. I am so pleased, and boy, do they ever smell good. So generally, when I watch somebody cooking on TV or on YouTube, I always wonder, why in the world would they show themselves eating the food that they just prepared? I mean, they could describe it without like eating it in front of us, but it's because, I know this now, it's gotta be because it smells so good and you've been holding back for so long that you don't want to turn off the camera before you take a taste. So I'm going to take a taste. The waffles, ooh, they're nice and crunchy on the outside, and they look really moist on the inside. I hate that word. Look at that. So I'm assuming that they're going to be a little bit chewy, which is perfect for a waffle in my opinion. So here we go. I'm going to taste the waffle right here in front of you. Mmm. Mmm. This is a really good recipe. There's no grit like you get sometimes in recipes that you use the nut flours with. It's just delightful. It's absolutely a delightful texture. It is chewy and crispy at the same time, and it's got a really good vanilla-y flavor to it. Yes, I am really enjoying this, and I think that this proves once again that something really delicious can come out of my imperfect kitchen. So I hope that you learned something. I learned that no matter how overwhelmed you feel when you look at the ingredient list, because it seemed like it was a lot of ingredients to put together, that overwhelming feeling goes right away as you dump things into the blender, and out pops something so delightful and so delicious, and it's nice and warm and crisp and chewy, and it was all worth it. It was absolutely 100% worth it, and now it made 20 waffles. So 20 sections of waffles. Let me clarify. It made 6 Belgian waffles. So that's 20 sections, and I'm going to put them in Ziploc bags in the freezer in probably 2 or 3 sections in each bag, and I will have, breakfast for days. So this was a good experience, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you give these waffles a try because they're really good. Here is a little edit at the end of the cooking video. I don't know how to edit it, so I just figured I'd tag on to the end and let you know that this did indeed make 24 sections of waffle, but I only intend on freezing 20 of them because I already ate 2 pieces, and I'm going in for another.